Hey there. Support and resistance is often drawn with the knowledge that it's an area. Now, we're going to find these areas of support and resistance all over the place. And what we can do with these areas is draw what's called a support and resistance window. Hi there, I'm Russ Horn, and I'm going to show you exactly how to draw these support and resistance windows. You've probably seen them, you're probably familiar with them, and I'm going to show you what one looks like. A window would be something that looks like this. It's a box where support and resistance is going to affect the market. And this window is not a precise price. It is a range or an area, which is exactly what support and resistance is. So let's go and build one of these boxes. We're going to take a look at this area in the middle of the chart here. We've got a market that moves up, comes back down, moves up, breaks through, comes back down. So we've got this area where I can see support and resistance is playing a role. Now, again, support and resistance isn't an exact price. It's more of an area. So we have a section here where the price breaks through, where it gets to exactly, where it comes down below. And when I see this, I generally want to average it. So I'm going to draw this line kind of in the middle of all of this action. So it pops above a little bit here, breaks down below a little bit here, gets to it right in here. So we've got kind of a mean. We've got an average in here. With that average, I would now like to draw a box. So what I'm going to do is use my box tool. Now I can draw a rectangle on the chart. So I'm going to click this, and then I can drag a corner to the other corner and it will create a box for me. Double click the corner of the box to select it, right click on the corner, and then rectangle properties. With this, I can change the color. Now I like the dark gray, which is here. I've got the white background and it works quite nicely, but you can change this to anything you want. So I'm going to delete that. And now what I'm going to do is use this area, and I'm going to take the highest high and the lowest low that occurs inside that area. So I'm going to start with this high and I'm going to include this low. Now, if I draw it out to the side, I'm going to see that probably this area is included as well. So if I go to the high, so we have price coming right up to the bottom of that box. So I can even include that just by dropping it down just a little bit. There we go. So now we've got this area of resistance. We've got this little bit higher area of resistance, 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 and support. So we have an area, a zone, a window of support and resistance. With this area or zone or window, we can expect price to be affected in that general range. Price doesn't have to get right to the middle for it to be affected. It can be affected anywhere inside of this range. So now I'm going to take this window and shoot it out to the right. So we go to the right, again, include the tops. So we have the bottom, we've got the top, we've got the center, we've got almost the bottom. And then from then on, we're going to take a look and see what the price does. So price is affected in this area just below the top. Then it gets to the middle. Then it gets to the bottom. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 areas where price is affected off of this support and resistance zone. In this section here, it would be support. Price is bouncing off of it from above. But we have more than just one line. Now, these windows are really nice because we're looking at a range instead of an exact price. If you're looking at an exact price, as far as the line goes, you may get tricked sometimes. It may trick you and think that once it closes below the line, it's going to go for a bit of a run. Or closes above the line, it could go for a bit of a run, depending on where the price is coming from. With these zones, with these windows, with these areas, we now have a bit of a range that will let the market decide if it's going to be affected or not. And with these windows, we have a much clearer picture of the market action. It's very difficult for the market to change direction on a dime, and having these zones or these windows is really quite a nice feature. we can draw another one up in here. If I take my line, I can see that we have some averages. We've got an area where price is affected, price is affected, price is affected, price is affected. So we've got these 4 peaks where, or even 5 peaks, where the price is affected by this area, not an exact price, but an area. Now I can do the same thing. I'm going to take a look at the lowest low and the highest high in that area. So that is going to be the highest high, and this looks like the lowest low. So from here, price can be affected inside of this zone at a future date. If I move over to the side a little bit, we have what looks like another area of support and resistance. And I'm going to use that word a lot, area, because that's exactly what it is. We've got an area where price is affected, price is affected, price is affected. And even in here, we have an area that affects the price. It pushes through, comes back up, and then gets pushed down again. So if I take my rectangle and I look for the highest high of that zone and the lowest low, and that probably would be this one here. And then we'll shoot it out to the right. And we can see from there, let's go to the left as well. We'll accommodate all of those different candles. So I want to get to the highest high, which is this one. And this looks like the lowest low that is affected by that area. And even further, like it goes way out here. You see price gets affected, and then it comes back up and it drops to the bottom, comes through, gets affected, affected, 1, 2, over and over and over again. And then we can see in the future, price is affected at that level, breaks above, comes back, and then back. And then if we keep going forward, we can see price is affected again. And it gets just about to the top where it gets affected again. So we have these windows where they give us a clearer picture. We don't need to have a line that is going to potentially give us a false signal. If we can create these windows or these zones of support and resistance, we're going to have much better chance of taking trades in the right direction. Until we get a break and a close below the window, we are still looking for a bounce from wherever it came from. So if the price is coming from the bottom, until we get to the other side of the window, we're looking for an opportunity to go short. If the market comes from above and gets to the window, until it gets to the other side of the window, we could be looking for opportunities to go long. Once the price breaks through the window, then we could see that there is a stronger potential for the area to move beyond the window. But right now, these windows really do narrow any chances that the trade doesn't work, simply because we're not being faked out by one price, one line.